Hello, and welcome to Ep.2 of Built and Unbound, your podcast where we talk about building strong bodies, renewing resilient minds, and breaking past every limit that's ever tried to hold us back. My name is Taylor Ballinger, and I'm your host. And today we're going to be talking about more on the unbound side of things and unbinding ourselves by talking about loneliness and relationships. A lot of times we will talk about one and not the other. And these two go hand in hand in a lot of different ways. I've been in seasons of my life where I held a lot of relationships, but I also held on to a lot of loneliness as well. And then there have been seasons in my life where maybe I had less relationships and only a few close friends, but I didn't carry around that feeling of loneliness and that weight of loneliness. So there are a lot of ways that these two go hand in hand. And if you are someone out there that is feeling very lonely right now, even with relationships surrounding you and people around you, and maybe you're even extremely outgoing and you're extremely extroverted, but you're still feeling that weight of loneliness over your life, first and foremost, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. That's a really tough place to be in. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. I know it feels like you're alone. I know it feels so heavy and so lonely and so scary. And maybe you're like me, and when I was in a lonely season of life, I was crying a lot, and it feels like you're not going to get out of that season, but I promise you it's temporary. I promise you it's temporary, and hopefully throughout the course of this episode, I'll say something that sparks some new thought or new idea within you, or something you can go try, or something you can dig into within yourself that will help with that feeling. Because it is something that you can heal within yourself. And especially if you are someone that is surrounded by a lot of relationships and a busy schedule, and you are getting out there and being around people, but you're still feeling that loneliness, that is something that we will heal from the inside. All right. If you are on the other end of loneliness where you don't have a lot of relationships in your life, I'll talk about that as well at the end, but there is a fix for that as well. So hopefully we can sort through this together. If you're watching this on whatever platform, or you are listening to this on Spotify or wherever you're hearing my voice or seeing me talk about this, if you're in that lonely season, please reach out to me. Please send me a message. I have time for you, and we will work through this. Okay. But like I said, I've been there. I've been in that lonely season. 2024 to 2025, that time period, not all of 2025, but probably for most of 2024 and early 2025, was one of the loneliest seasons of my life. I was surrounded by people. I had good friends in my life. I had family in my life. I had people to talk to. But there was this void and this heaviness over my life, where even with people all around me, I just felt like I couldn't connect to anyone. Like I was never on the same page as anyone else. Whatever conversations other people had, I just never seemed to be in it with them, or agree with them, or feel like I was speaking the same language. Even if we were all speaking English, it just felt like there was this huge disconnect. And it was hard. It was really hard. Left and right. Whenever you're whenever you're going through something that is affecting you on that deep of a level and it's hurting you to your core and in your heart, it's hard not to notice everyone else around you that has what you want, right? So like if your deepest desire is to have an intimate relationship, a romantic relationship, a significant other, it's really hard not to go outside or on social media. I mean, we have access to see so many things that back in the day people didn't have access to see. We can see essentially people's lives. It's the highlight reel of their life, right? Which honestly makes what I'm about to talk about even worse, because you're seeing just the good things in people's lives and you're seeing just the highlight reel of everyone's life. So you go out into the world and it's hard not to look at and notice what you don't have, because that's the thing that's at the forefront of your mind. And so you go out into the world and you seemingly see all of these people getting exactly what you want, and it seems like they're getting it so much easier than you. But I promise you, that's just the highlight reel. Those people are struggling with their own things too. Every single person on this planet has that deepest desire, that one thing that they really, truly want more than anything else. And usually it's connected to whatever we did not get in our childhood, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But everyone has that one thing. And so you might be sitting there lonely and your deepest desire is to have a really close friend or a significant other. And so you go out into the world and you see all of these couples and these best friends, and you're like, why is it so easy for everyone? And you're not thinking when you look at these people that, oh, that couple that I'm so envious of because they're so in love and that's what I want. You're not seeing that the one thing that they really want is to have a child. And you're not seeing that behind closed doors, they are struggling so hard to get pregnant and have that child. And that's the one thing they want. So whenever they leave their house, they're going out into the world and all they're seeing is people getting pregnant left and right, and gender reveal parties, and people having their kids and their second kid and their third kid before they can even have their first. And so they're hurting just the same as you are, and they're feeling that loneliness in a different way. But then they're looking at the families that are seemingly having kids with ease, thinking, man, their life is so amazing and they have exactly what I want. They must be so happy. And that's not a conscious thought that people go around thinking, right? Like that's more of a subconscious layer of things where like, oh, they must be so happy. Like I'm not going around going, oh, like they must be so happy because they have that one thing. No, we just see they have that one thing, and that's a subconscious thought that like they have the happiness that I don't have, or they have the love that I don't have, or the family that I don't have. But that couple that is looking at these other families, they're going, man, like they're so lucky. Like, why is it so easy for them? They have everything that I've ever wanted. But then that family's struggling with something too. They might be struggling with finances, and when they look out their door, they're seeing people seemingly buying cars left and right and being able to pay for their bills and their groceries, and they're envious of that, right? And I'm not saying that we shouldn't want the things that we want, or we should hide the things that we want, or we just need to be grateful and wait our turn and it'll happen when it happens. And yes, unfortunately, all of those things are true, especially if you are a woman or a man of faith. You know, we should put our faith in God and his timing and know that what he has for us is going to be the absolute best that he will ever have for us. Yes, that is true. But I know saying that to you is not going to help right now, because we know those things and we try and remind ourselves of those things, but it's still hard. That doesn't take away how hard it is to sit in that loneliness and in that pain and sit in that place of, why can everyone else connect to everyone except me? What is wrong with me? Is it because no one likes me? And a lot of times that's where our brain goes, right? Is there something wrong with me? It's hard not to. When our brain tries to tell us when we walk outside that everyone, because if you're dramatic like I am, you're going for the extremes. Everyone has what I want. Everyone's getting that so much easier than me. What's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. You just want it so badly that that's the one thing your brain is going to focus on. It's like when you decide, and you've probably seen the Tony Robbins videos or the Tony Robbins and Theo Vaughn video where they talk about this, but it's like when you're about to buy a new car and you pick out the car that you want, right? Maybe it's like a charcoal gray Land Rover. So you pick out that car and that's the one you want. And you think it's so unique and so special. And then the next time you go outside and you go to the grocery store, you see like 5 of them, right? Because that's, your brain is now noticing those things. It's not that it wasn't there before. It's that that's what it's noticing. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, just wait your turn. God's timing. Just pray it away. Just deal with it. I'm not going to tell you those things because I've been there, and that's yes, what we should do essentially is we should incorporate those disciplines into our life, but I know it's not going to help right now because that loneliness is hard. And when you're in it, it feels like it's never going to end. A lot of seasons feel like that, like it's never going to end. But I promise you it's temporary. As someone that's gone through that season of immense loneliness and really just bore that weight for quite a while, for over a year, what helped me fix that and heal through that and get connected to people again, and this is for the people that you have relationships around you, you have family, you have friends, you're talking to people every day. You might even have a very social work environment, and you might be on a sports team or in a run club or in a gym. You might be talking to people all throughout the day. So those are the people I'm talking to right now, is the people that you are extroverted, you are going outside, you are going and being around people, but you're still feeling that loneliness. That's when we need to turn inward and find out why we're not connecting. Why do we not feel that connection to the people we're talking to? Because if there's people around, we need to figure out what's not connecting, right? For me, it was my inability to be vulnerable with people. That was something that I had to learn to do in order to feel connected to someone. Because in order to feel connected to the people around you, there has to be a level of vulnerability. You have to get to know each other on a deeper level. You have to feel known, and they have to feel known to be able to connect to each other. For me, it was because my core wounding from my childhood was that I felt unseen. I felt like no one ever tried to get to know me on a deeper level. No one asked me questions about myself. No one talked me through hard times, taught me things that I needed to know. Teachers didn't know what was going on in my everyday life, and they didn't ask. I didn't have deeper conversations with my parents. So I was very unseen. And so what that ended up translating into within myself was never learning how to be vulnerable with people, because that was never brought out of me. That was never modeled for me when I was younger. These are things that we learn at a very, very young age. And so this This requires a level of digging into your childhood and what was love and relationship and connectedness modeled to you as a kid, probably somewhere between the ages of 4 and 15, 4 and 18. When we do story work with Dan, it's story work is a program by Dan Allender. You can look it up. I'll do another video on it another time. But when we do story work, we look at the ages 4 to 18 because those are when you're developing as a human being. That's when you're learning skills, but that's also when you are learning love from your primary caregivers. And so that's when you learn, should I be vulnerable? Should I not be vulnerable? And it's, again, not a conscious decision. It's whatever was modeled to you. So in your childhood, if the adults in your life don't model to you how to be vulnerable and how to get to know people and connect with people on a deeper level, it's going to be really hard to do that as an adult, especially if no one's ever taught you to go dig into your childhood to figure out what beliefs you picked up as a child that you're bringing with you into your adult life. So until I ran through the Storywork program at the beginning of 2025 and realized that that was my core belief, that I was never seen as a child, so I never learned how to connect to other people by being vulnerable with them, because not being seen as a child, I needed to develop strategies as a child to live through my life. And those strategies did not include opening up about the vulnerable things within me. Because also as a child, if I did open up about vulnerable things that were within me, no one seemed to care. No one provided the care that I needed at that age when I did. So I learned not to. So then I carried that core belief subconsciously into my adult life, where I then unconsciously told myself that other people don't want to know all of the details. And then terms like trauma dumping started coming out, where then if you start telling someone about your past, and if you have a past like mine where a lot of different things happened, and maybe they're just matter of fact for you, and it's things that you've worked through already as a child and as an adult, but you start telling people about your past, and it feels like trauma dumping, because the definition that people give to trauma dumping is to sit there and dump a bunch of trauma on someone. And even though it's not still trauma that it's affecting you, if you have a past like that, you go to tell someone about you and it feels like trauma dumping. And then that also feels wrong. So now you don't know how to be vulnerable in a way that doesn't feel like trauma dumping. So you just don't do it as an adult either. So now look where we're at. We're an adult surrounded by people that all seem to know how to connect to each other, which, let's examine that lie as well, because just because two people look like they're having fun together, smiling together, working out together all the time, does not mean that they have this deep connection that your brain is making them out to have. They might not feel connected either. So on top of examining inward to ourselves and our own thoughts, we need to not be projecting that out onto other people and thinking that we know how connected two other people are to each other. Because again, highlight reels of life. Whether you're looking at two people in front of you or looking at their social media, you don't know that whole story. So if you can't know for sure that something is absolutely true, which means those people have told you everything, you can't sit there and tell that to yourself, right? So now as an adult, we don't like to talk about ourselves because it feels like trauma dumping. We don't know how to be vulnerable in another way. It's hard to practice that if we feel like trauma dumping every time we open our mouth. So then we just feel like we're not connected to people, because then what are we doing? We're just having small talk with them. If this sounds anything like you, that you are surrounded by people in your life, friends, family, talking to people all day, and you still feel that weight of loneliness over your life, that is most likely what's happening. Maybe not the exact same thing, but I guarantee you, if you start digging through the stories of your past and how love and connectedness was modeled to you by your primary caregivers, whether it was your parents, adopted parents, grandparents, whoever took care of you from a very young age, how did they model connectedness, vulnerability, and relationship and love to you? And I guarantee you that will give you insight into why you have a hard time connecting to people in your adult life. I highly recommend writing it down. We know that our brains lie to us. Our minds lie to us all the time. So sit down and write it out. What are some of the memories from your childhood? Who did you feel loved by? Who could you open up to? What did that look like? Then we need to take that information, and if you are not feeling connected to people out in your life right now, go tell them that you want to be connected to them. Tell them. That is what this world is missing so much of, is honest communication, and it's gonna be rocky. If you're like me and you didn't learn how to talk to people and open up to people when you were younger, it's gonna come out rocky and imperfect and ugly. And it's gonna be hard to say, and you're gonna feel really scared the first time you try it, even if it's a friend, significant other that you've been with for a while, whoever it is. It's gonna feel really, really rocky. Just warning you. But you can do it. You can do it. Go up to them and say, hey, I'm not feeling very connected to anyone right now. I would love to feel more connected to you. Can we talk through some of the feelings I'm having? Sometimes it's easier for me if I imagine that I'm a little kid going up to someone else and going, hey, I like your shirt because I like that it's blue. Can we be friends? Go back into little kid mode. Go back into little kid mode. Go up to someone, I want to be friends with you. Can we talk? Can we chat? Can we talk about our pasts? Can we get to know each other? If anyone came up to me and said that, I would not say no. And if someone does say no, which they're not going to, something's probably going on in their life that they need to take care of, or that they aren't telling people. Maybe they're not feeling connected to people either. Guarantee you, you go up to someone and you say that, they are going to be overjoyed because they probably are looking for more people to connect with as well. It has been a very lonely world out there. People need more friends. People need to feel more connected. You are not the only one. So if you want to feel more connected, go tell them. If you're in a romantic relationship with someone, don't push them away because you don't feel connected. That's backwards. Say, hey, I'm not feeling very connected to you right now. Can we talk about it? Can we ask each other deeper questions until we get to know each other more so I can feel more connected? Hey, this is what I feel like I need. Is that something that we could talk about? Is that something that you have the space for right now? And don't you worry, I'm sitting here saying this like I'm good at it. Oh boy, no, I'm not. No, I am not. I am saying this because I have been through it and I'm currently going through it. And so I know there's people out there going through this too. But you got to just say it. You've got to go up to them and just say it. Now, on the other end of that, if you're lonely and it's because you only have a couple of friends and you can't seem to find people that do the same things as you, you got to just get out there. It might take a while. It might take a while to find those people. But again, it's all about walking up to people. Hey, I really like your shoes. Can we be friends? Hey, you're really good at basketball. Can we do this more often? Go play sports if that's your thing. Go join a sports team. Maybe you have to show up to the same places multiple times until you see the people that you might want to be friends with. Go up to someone in the gym. Say, hey, do you have a workout partner? Do you want to work out sometime? Don't get offended if someone at the gym says no. There's a lot of people training for a lot of different reasons there, okay? But you got to go up to people. Join new clubs. If you live in a really small town, get online, get on Facebook, get on Bumble Besties or whatever, BFF, Bumble BFF. There's websites for friends. And they work. They work. All right? I know that a lot of us don't like the online dating or the online BFF thing. I get it. I really get it. However, unfortunately, that's the reality of the world we're in these days. So we've got to just use the tools that we have in front of us. We really do. If that's where the people are, that's where the people are. Look up events in the area. Look up farmers markets or farm shows, or I'm in a farm town, so that's what I'm saying right now. If you're not in a farm town, look up other events. Look up cheesy events. I've met friends at like speed dating events in the past. Look up, I don't know, there's like cop and firefighter sporting events you can go to and watch. I've done that before. There's all sorts of strange events in every single town and city. Go find them. But sitting in your loneliness and isolating yourself, and I know that's not what you're trying to do. I know. It can be very isolating to have that weight. And just being like, why is this happening? Why can't I connect? But you've got to do the work. It's not fair that you have to do the work. And I wish that burden wasn't on you. And I wish it was easier. But we all have to do the work. You've got to sit down with a pen and a piece of paper and just write it out. Dig into your beliefs. What are you still carrying with you? If you are feeling lonely, this book right here, Make Sense of Your Story by Adam Young. It goes over the Storywork program by Dan Allender. And this was absolutely life-changing for me. This right here is what pulled me out of my lonely season. I did it with a group. You can find groups to do it with. If you're interested in a group, message me, comment, let me know, and maybe we can make something happen. But this will help you dig into your past and unearth those beliefs and those attachment styles from your past. And that will help you build better relationships now. It'll help you uncover what you then need to work on to be able to feel connected. So mine, again, I was unseen. I didn't know how to be vulnerable with people. That was the key that I was missing to start and foster relationships with people, friendships, coworkers, romantic relationships. That's what I was missing. So then, yes, now I still have to work on how do I be vulnerable with people? How do I have these conversations with people? And every time you do it, it gets easier and easier. It's still not easy for me. It scares me to be vulnerable. Okay? It's scary to do these things. So I don't want you over there calling yourself names or calling yourself stupid or saying you're any less than anyone else. This is hard for everyone. So let's all make it easier on ourselves and just do the work, dig in, have the conversations. Just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Send the text. There's warm and kind ways to ask people to connect with you. Just take that leap. It's better than this feeling of loneliness, I'll tell you that. So again, if you are in this lonely season, the really heavy, I don't know why I can't feel connected to anyone season, please comment or message me. Please, I am begging you to message me, because I've been there and I don't want you there, and we can figure this out. If this message was helpful, there will be more like it. So please subscribe to whatever channel you're hearing or watching this on. And we're going to keep getting through these seasons together. And we're going to keep breaking through these limits together. I hope you have a great night. Bye.